My husband's work phone has a password I didn't know about, and now I'm sitting in a Starbucks parking lot at 2 a.m. wondering if my entire life has been a lie. I'm 44 years old, and I've been married to David, who is 46, for 18 years. We have 2 kids, a mortgage, a golden retriever, and what I genuinely thought was a rock-solid marriage. We met in our 20s, struggled through the early years of career building, supported each other through the deaths of 3 parents between us, and finally felt like we were hitting our stride. David is a project manager for a large construction firm, and I'm a freelance graphic designer. Life was, or so I thought, good. It started with a fucking tire. 3 days ago, I was driving David's SUV because my car was in the shop for a brake pad replacement. I hit a pothole on the way home from the grocery store, and the low-pressure light flashed on. I pulled over, thinking I'd just swap it for the spare. When I pulled up the carpeted panel in the trunk to get to the jack and the spare tire, I saw a small, black zippered pouch tucked into the side well, right next to the tire iron. I didn't even think twice about opening it. I thought it was a first aid kit or maybe some emergency tools. Inside was a burner phone, an old school, cheap-ass prepaid flip phone and a charger. My heart didn't drop immediately. I actually thought, maybe this is for emergencies? But David has a work phone, a nice iPhone, and he has a personal phone. Why would he need a burner hidden under a spare tire? I tried to turn it on, but it was dead. I shoved it back in the pouch, changed the tire, which took forever because I was shaking for some reason I couldn't identify yet, and drove home. I charged the phone in my studio that night while David was asleep. When it finally blinked to life, there was no passcode. Just a screen full of messages. The messages were from a contact saved only as C. Can't wait for Tuesday. The hotel is booked. Use the name we talked about. I miss your skin. He's suspicious, we have to be careful. I felt like someone had reached into my chest and squeezed my lungs flat. I went through the photos. There weren't many, just shots of a woman's legs, a hotel room view of the city, and one photo of David. My David, the man who kissed me goodbye this morning and complained about his back hurting, was smiling into the camera while wearing a robe I've never seen. I haven't said a word to him. I've been acting like a fucking robot for 48 hours. I told him the SUV was fine, just a flat. I put the phone back in the car. I'm sitting here now because I followed him tonight. He told me he had an emergency site visit because of a pipe burst. I checked the construction company's website, there are no active night sites in the direction he drove. I'm currently parked 3 blocks away from a Holiday Inn Express. His SUV is in the lot. I don't know what to do. Do I walk in there? Do I wait for him to come out? Am I the asshole for even being here? I feel like I'm losing my goddamn mind. Update 1. I stayed in the car. I didn't go in. I think if I had gone in, I would have ended up in jail. My heart was beating so hard I could hear it in my teeth. I just sat there in the dark, watching the entrance of that hotel like a hawk. About 2 hours later, at 4:15 a.m., David walked out. He wasn't alone. It wasn't some random girl. It was Claire. Claire was, my best friend. We've known each other since college. She was a bridesmaid at our wedding. She's the godmother to our youngest daughter. She's been at every Christmas, every birthday, every shitty backyard barbecue for nearly 2 decades. Her husband, Mark, is one of David's closest friends. They didn't even look guilty. They looked comfortable. He leaned down and kissed her, not a quick peck, but a lingering, "I'll see you soon" kiss, and she hopped into her own car, which was parked on the other side of the lot. He got into the SUV and drove home. I beat him home by 10 minutes. I barely managed to get my shoes off and get under the covers, pretending to be asleep, before I heard the garage door open. My skin was crawling. I could hear him downstairs, the sound of the fridge opening, the tap running. He came upstairs, took a shower to wash her off, and then he had the fucking audacity to crawl into bed and put his arm over my waist. I didn't move. I didn't breathe. I just laid there staring at the digital clock until the sun came up. When he woke up, he was exhausted. He complained about how long the pipe repair took. He said, "God, I'm getting too old for these late nights, babe." I just looked at him. I wanted to scream. I wanted to grab the coffee pot and throw it at his head. Instead, I said, "Yeah, you look tired, David. Maybe you should take a nap later." He smiled at me. That same stupid, boyish smile I've loved for half my life. "Maybe. Love you." "Love you too," I lied. It felt like swallowing broken glass. I called out of work. I can't think. I called a lawyer this morning, not to file yet, just to see what my options are. The lawyer told me to start gathering evidence, financial records, phone logs, anything. The problem is, David handles the big finances. I handle the day-to-day bills, but he's the one with the login for our investment accounts and the rainy day fund. I tried to log in today using the password he always uses, his mother's maiden name and our anniversary, but it didn't work. He changed it. Why would he change the password to our joint savings account unless he's hiding more than just an affair? I'm sitting in my studio now. I've been crying for 3 hours and I think I'm going to throw up. I have to see Claire today. We have a girls' lunch planned with 2 other friends. I'm going to go. I'm going to sit across from her and I'm going to see if she can look me in the eye. Update 2. The lunch was a fucking nightmare. I sat there for 2 hours listening to Claire talk about her marriage troubles with Mark. She actually had the nerve to sit there, sipping a mimosa, and tell me that she felt like Mark was distracted and that she wished they had the spark that David and I have. I almost choked on my salad. I looked at her, really looked at her, and realized she was wearing a necklace I hadn't seen before. A small gold heart. David mentioned picking up a gift for a client's wife last month. I'd bet my life savings he bought that for her. "Are you okay, honey?" Claire asked me, leaning over to touch my hand. Her touch felt like a physical burn. "You're so quiet today. Is everything okay with the kids?" "I'm fine," I said, pulling my hand away to reach for my water. "Just didn't sleep well. David had to go out for a work emergency last night. A pipe burst or something." I watched her face. She didn't even flinch. She's a sociopath. She just nodded sympathetically. "Oh, I know. Mark said David called him about it this morning. It sounds like it was a mess." "Wait, Mark said David called him?" So they're coordinating their stories. They're both in on it, or David is lying to Mark too and using him as an alibi. I left lunch early, saying I had a headache. I didn't go home. I went to the cellular store. Since I'm on the family plan, I managed to get the detailed logs for David's iPhone. He's smart, he doesn't text her on his main phone. But I saw a pattern. Every Tuesday and Thursday at 10 a.m., there's a data spike. He's using an app. Probably Signal or WhatsApp or something encrypted. But then I saw something else. There are multiple calls to a number in Florida. We don't know anyone in Florida. The calls are long, sometimes an hour, and they happen during his commute. I looked up the number. It's a law firm, a family law and estate planning firm in Orlando. Why is my husband, who lives in Ohio, talking to a divorce lawyer in Florida? We don't even own property there. I went home and waited for him to get back. When he walked in, he was carrying flowers. "Just because," he said. I took them and put them in a vase, and as soon as his back was turned, I dumped the water out so they'd wilt faster. I've decided I'm not confronting him yet. If he's talking to lawyers, he's planning something. If he's moving money, I need to know where it's going. I spent the afternoon digging through his home office while he was taking that nap he mentioned. I found a folder hidden behind some old tax returns. It wasn't just bank statements. It was a life insurance policy. A big one. $2 million. The beneficiary isn't me. It's Claire. Update 3. I haven't slept in 48 hours. I feel like I'm vibrating. I went back to the lawyer I called, her name is Sarah, and showed her what I found. She looked at the life insurance policy and her face went completely pale. She told me that usually, you can't just change a beneficiary on a policy like that to a non-family member without some kind of notification or signature if it's considered a marital asset, but David had this policy set up through a private shell company I didn't even know existed. "He's not just cheating on you," Sarah said. "He's decoupling. He's extracting himself from the marriage financially before he drops the hammer." "But the Florida thing?" She did some digging. It turns out David's firm has a silent partner based in Florida. That partner? Claire's brother. It's a whole goddamn web. They've been funneling money out of our joint accounts into this business for at least 3 years. Every bonus David said he didn't get? Every pay cut during the pandemic? It went there. I came home and the kids were there. My 14-year-old son, Leo, asked me why I looked so sad. I had to lie to his face. I had to tell him mommy was just stressed about work. It broke my fucking heart. David was in the living room, playing video games with our daughter, looking for all the world like the perfect dad. I couldn't take it anymore. "How was the site visit really, David?" I asked. I said it casually while I was folding laundry in the living room. He didn't even look up from the screen. "Tiring. Told you, babe. Mud everywhere." "Why?" "I just ran into Mark's wife, Claire," I said. My voice was steady. "I don't know how. She said Mark told her you guys talked about it this morning. That it was a real mess. David paused the game. His shoulders went stiff. Yeah. Mark's a good guy. He was checking in to see if I needed extra hands. Why are we talking about this? Just making conversation, I said. Oh, by the way, I tried to get into the savings account to pay for Leo's club soccer fees. The password didn't work. He turned around then. He had this look on his face, this practiced, calm, gaslighting look that I've apparently been blind to for years. Oh, yeah. There was a security breach at the bank. I had to reset everything. I'll give you the new one later, I just have it written down at the office. Just tell it to me now, I said. I don't remember it off the top of my head. It's a random string of characters. Is this an interrogation? He laughed, but it didn't reach his eyes. You're acting really weird lately. Are you starting that new medication again? He's trying to make me feel crazy. He's using my history with anxiety against me. I walked out of the room before I did something I'd regret. I went to the SUV. I wanted that burner phone. I wanted to see if there were more messages. I got to the car, pulled up the panel. And the pouch was gone. He moved it. He knows I found it, or he's getting spooked. I went back inside and he was standing in the kitchen, holding his car keys. I forgot I left my laptop at the office, he said. I'm gonna go grab it. At 9 p.m.? Yeah, I need it for a call in the morning. Back in 20. He didn't go to the office. I have a GPS tracker on the SUV now. I bought one at Best Buy today and tucked it under the bumper while he was napping. He's at Claire's house. Mark's car isn't in the driveway. I'm sitting in my kitchen with a bottle of wine and David's iPad. I finally guessed the passcode. It was the date he met Claire. Not the date he met me. The date we all went to that concert in college where he met her. I'm looking through his deleted photos right now. There are hundreds of them. And it's not just hotel rooms. There are photos of a house. A house in Florida with a sold sign in front of it. The buyer's name on the digital contract in his recents folder? David and Claire. They're not just having an affair. They're starting a new life. They've already bought the house. They've already changed their names on the paperwork. But that's not the worst part. I just found a PDF. It's a medical report. Claire is 4 months pregnant. Update 4. The last 24 hours have been a blur of fire and ice. After I found the medical report and the house papers, I didn't cry. I think I ran out of tears. I felt cold, totally, utterly frozen. I waited for him to come back from Claire's. When he walked through the door at 10:30, I was sitting at the dining room table. I had the iPad open. I had the life insurance policy printed out. I had the Florida house contract printed out. He walked in humming. He stopped when he saw me. He saw the papers. What's this? He asked. He tried to sound annoyed, like I was bothering him with junk mail. It's the rest of your life, David, I said. My voice sounded like it belonged to a stranger. How is Claire? How's the baby? The color drained from his face so fast I thought he was going to faint. He didn't say anything for a full 10 seconds. Then, he did the most disgusting thing possible. He sat down, put his head in his hands, and started to sob. It wasn't supposed to happen like this, he blubbered. I didn't mean for any of this to happen. You didn't mean to buy a house in Florida? I asked. You didn't mean to funnel $300,000 out of our kids' college funds? You didn't mean to name your mistress as the beneficiary of a $2 million policy while I'm still your wife? I was going to tell you. He screamed, suddenly jumping up. I was going to make sure you were taken care of. But Mark is a nightmare. Claire needed to get away, and then she got pregnant and everything just sped up. Mark is your best friend, I yelled back. I was standing now, too. You're sleeping with his wife. You're stealing from our children. I'm not stealing. He shrieked. That's my money. I earned it. You've been a freelancer making pennies for 10 years. Who do you think paid for this house? Who do you think paid for the cars? That was the mask slipping. That was the real David. The one who thought I was a parasite because I stayed home to raise our kids while building my business on the side. Get out, I said. This is my house, he sneered. I'm not going anywhere. Get out, or I call Mark, I said, picking up my phone. I'll call him right now. I'll call his parents. I'll call your boss. I'll show them the photos of you in that hotel robe. I'll show them the burner phone records. He lunged for the phone. I stepped back and grabbed a steak knife off the table. I'd been using it to open the mail earlier, but in that moment, I would have used it on him. I didn't care. Don't you fucking touch me, I hissed. He backed off. He looked at me like he'd never seen me before. Maybe he hadn't. You're crazy. You've always been unstable. Out, I said. He grabbed his jacket and his keys. Fine. You want to play it this way? Fine. Good luck finding a cent of that money. It's gone. It's in accounts you can't touch. You're going to end up with nothing. He slammed the door so hard the glass rattled. I sat there for an hour, shaking. Then I called Mark. I thought I was doing the right thing. I thought we were in this together. I told him everything, the hotel, the phone, the house in Florida, the pregnancy. There was silence on the other end of the line. Long, heavy silence. Then Mark spoke. I know, he said. His voice was cracked, broken. What do you mean you know? I've known for 6 months, Mark whispered. Claire told me. She said. She said it was the only way. The only way for what, Mark? What the fuck are you talking about? David has been blackmailing me, Mark said, and I could hear him starting to cry. He found out about the things I did at the firm. The embezzlement. He told me if I didn't let them be together, if I didn't help him move the money, he'd send me to prison. He's been forcing me to be his alibi. He's been making me watch them. I felt the room spin. The baby isn't David's, Mark said. What? The baby is mine. But David is making Claire tell everyone it's his so he can use it as a reason to leave you and take the money to Florida. He wants a fresh start with her, and he's using my kid to get it. I hung up. I couldn't listen to any more. It's not just an affair. It's a goddamn criminal conspiracy. My husband is a blackmailer, a thief, and a monster. I'm currently at a hotel with the kids. They're asleep. They don't know anything yet. I told them there was a gas leak at the house. I have 3% battery left. I'm looking at the life insurance policy again. There's a clause. A very specific clause about accidental death versus natural causes in the first 2 years of the policy. And then I remembered something David said a month ago. He was talking about the SUV. He said the brakes were feeling soft, he said he'd take care of it. I was driving that SUV 2 days ago. I was driving my kids in that SUV. I think he's trying to kill me. Update 5. I didn't go to the safe deposit box. Not right away. I called Sarah at 6 a.m. and told her about the brakes. She didn't hesitate. She told me to stay in the hotel, keep the kids out of school, and get that SUV to a forensic mechanic she knows. She also called the police. The mechanic found it within an hour. The brake line hadn't failed. It had been partially notched, a small, clean cut that would hold under light pressure but would snap like a twig if I had to slam on the brakes at highway speeds. Like when I'm driving the kids to soccer. The police came to the hotel. They took my statement. They took the iPad. They took the printouts. I've never felt so small and so powerful at the same time. I watched them bag the papers I'd found like they were the most important things in the world. Then I went to the bank. The manager looked at me like I was a ghost. I have my name on the box too, even though David thought I'd forgotten about it. I opened it with a shaking hand. Inside was the ledger. It wasn't just bank accounts. It was a play-by-play of the last 5 years. David had recorded everything, every cent he took from the firm, every conversation where he threatened Mark, and, this is the part that made me collapse, a series of voice memos on a digital recorder. I listened to one. It was David's voice, calm and cold, talking to Claire. If she's gone, the policy pays out to the shell company. We don't just get the house, Claire. We get the whole damn coast. The kids will go to your sister's. It'll be a tragedy. A tragic accident. He wasn't just leaving me. He was planning my funeral. He was planning to give our children away so he could play house with my best friend using my death benefit. The police arrested David at a Starbucks, the same one I was at 2 nights ago. He was meeting Claire. They arrested her too. Turns out, being an accessory to a murder plot and a corporate embezzlement scheme doesn't go well for your fresh start. Update 6. It's been 3 months. The divorce is final. Sarah worked some kind of legal magic involving criminal forfeiture and marital fraud that I still don't fully understand, but the upshot is this: the Florida house is being sold by the court. The money David tried to hide is being clawed back. Most of it is going into a trust for Leo and Maya that he can't touch even when he gets out, if he ever gets out. David is facing 15 to 20 years. Blackmail, attempted murder, and a laundry list of financial crimes. Mark took a plea deal to testify against him. He's going to serve some time for the embezzlement, but he's the one who gave the police the locations of the offshore accounts David set up in Claire's name. Claire is out on bail, awaiting trial. She lost the baby. Stress, the doctors said. I want to feel bad for her, but I look at my kids and I remember that break line. I feel nothing but a cold, hard knot where my heart used to be. I sold the house in Ohio. Too many ghosts. The kids and I moved 2 states over, closer to my sister. Leo is in therapy twice a week. He doesn't ask about his dad anymore. Maya still cries sometimes, but she's starting to smile again. I went to the garage today to get my new car. I still catch myself checking the tires. I still catch myself looking at the floorboards for black zippered pouches. I'm 44. I'm a single mom. I'm a survivor of a man I thought I knew for 20 years. Yesterday, I got a letter from the prison. David wants me to visit. He says he still loves me and that it was all a misunderstanding fueled by his midlife crisis. I didn't even open the rest of it. I put it in the shredder and watched it turn into confetti. I'm done being the girl in the parking lot at 2 a.m. I'm the one who took everything back. Hi there, if you made it so far. Consider dropping a like and maybe subscribing. Thanks. And have a nice one.